YouTuber Snuck on North Sentinel Island. He got caught.
Is often considered the most dangerous place in the world. It's home to one of the most deadly uncontacted tribes on Earth, who have unalived several outsiders who dared to step foot on their island, burying them in shallow graves right on the beach for the world to see. Going there is almost certainly a death wish, but in the modern age, creators are willing to risk it all for clout, like Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov.
Hey, listen, as being a content creator myself, yeah, right? The aim of the game is to get as many views as possible. In no way I would go to an island where they would all want to kill you for those views. Like, bro, that's just insanity.
Just recently attempted a trip to the deadly island.
That's insane.
And although he somehow managed to come back unscathed, it's possible that he might have triggered a mini genocide on the island itself.
Huh?
Hi, I'm the internet.
Wait, what? Wait. He came back fine?
Anarchist. I make weekly YouTube documentaries, Islands for Clout. The despicable acts he committed in prison because of those there, and how he might even spend the next 5 years of his life in prison because of those acts. But you know what won't land you in prison? Subscribing to the channel. So hit that subscribe button and let's get on.
Yeah, that is crazy. They don't have a good immune system for our germs.
With the video. To fully understand just how dumb and insensitive this entire trip was, it's worth knowing who this man is and why he was so desperate to reach this uncontacted island. Mikhailo Viktorovich Polyakov is a 24-year-old YouTuber from North Goldwater, Arizona. He runs a YouTube channel named Neo-Orientalist, which he created fairly recently in September of 2024. Almost a year later, and it's still fairly unknown, with only 4.6k subs.
Yeah, yo, he tried to do a big hitter to boost his channel. He's like, yo, how do I make it on YouTube? Let me just go to this island real quick. I got it.
And only one major piece of content, a 6-part vlog series documenting the 3 weeks Mikhailo spent in one of the most dangerous places in the world.
Wait, what was his channel? Did he go with... Mate! Wait, he's visiting the Taliban? Oh my god, bro, this guy's just crazy. Yo, this guy's just crazy, bro.
Spent in one of the most dangerous places in the world, Taliban-controlled Afghanistan.
Oh my god.
Along with several shorts highlighting the various moments from the same trip. Now, to his credit, he did put effort into...
Hey, one guy, thanks so much for the 300 bits, dude.
Properly exploring Afghanistan's culture.
He attacked them with an RPG and they took...
from an objective lens, regardless of his personal opinions on it. Even documenting important historical locations across the country and day-to-day life of the locals. It seemed like he was genuinely interested in showing his viewers a part of the world that doesn't get much coverage, even if it meant putting...
Yeah, listen, look, I'm not gonna lie, like, it is cool to see, right? Like, you know, parts of the world that you don't get to see, but then at the same time, you know, it's dumb. At the same time, like, we get to see that, but you might not get to see anything after your trip.
His life in danger. Fortunately for him, viewers noticed, with one thankful viewer writing, "I'm glad these videos actually show the real Afghanistan, unlike other videos where in 40 minutes, half is showing them walking to a hotel and inside the hotel, and the other half is eating in a restaurant and buying clothing."
Yeah, but that's the thing, because they're not, you know, they're not stupid. They're not going to actually go into the parts that are dangerous.
However, despite all of this, there were some questionable moments within the content he posted, especially his shorts, where his thrill-seeking side would take over. Take, for example, him posing with one of the Afghan militia's machine guns, shooting with the militia, and recording a road rage incident that turned violent. But regardless, his vlogs still did moderately well, generating around 20 to 30,000 views per video.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, 20,000 views is great and all, but that's not let's go to Afghanistan and risk our life great. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not... Like, if I'm going to Afghanistan, mate, I want millions and millions and millions and millions. Plenty of millions.
Video, especially considering that they were the first videos he ever posted. He had a real opportunity to keep putting out videos like this, exploring—
Yo, chat, as a YouTuber, yeah, let me just tell you, for example, how much this would make, right? This would roughly turn over probably, maybe, depending on how long it is, maybe $100. Maybe 100. I don't know. It depends, like, what kind of, between like 100, 200, maybe ish, around there, bro. Would you have $100 to risk your life in Afghanistan? I won't. No, I won't. I'm all good.
He ever posted.
I'm all good.
He had a real opportunity to keep putting out videos like this, exploring different cultures and generating an audience that enjoyed his slightly more risky adventures.
I know, yo, chat. He might be getting $200, but still, even $200 aren't. Nah, I'm good.
Time to time. However, Mikhailo didn't want to build an audience over time. He wanted to go viral overnight. So he decided to take the biggest risk he could think of to reach this goal, and ended up choosing North Sentinel Island as his next destination, blatantly disregarding the law, the obvious threat to his own life, and the threat to the people on that island, all in search of internet clout. For those who don't know, North Sentinel Island is approximately the size of Manhattan, New York, and is located about 750 miles off the coast of India. As a result, it's completely cut off from civilization. In fact, the only civilization that's even remotely close to it is Port Blair. Do
you know what's crazy though? Literally one Google search and it would tell you you're not even allowed to go there. So like, what brings you the idea of, hey, let's go there and make a YouTube video on it? Like, bro, what?
Capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Bay of Bengal. However, despite its isolation, there is a group of people that have been surviving on the island for centuries, without ever stepping foot on the mainland. A tribe known as the Sentinelese, rumored to be the direct descendants of the first humans to migrate out of Africa. The estimated 200 Sentinelese on the island have adopted a primitive lifestyle, hunting for animals and fish with spears, bow and arrows, while wearing little to no clothing, leading many people to believe that they might be humanity's last remaining link to the Stone Age. However, their unique and detached existence has also made them a prime target over the years, from explorers, adventurers, and even governments trying to bring them back to civilization.
Hey, what's the UK doing? Of course the UK's getting involved trying to colonize them. Going back to our old ways. That's what we're doing.
The earliest incident of outsiders making contact with the Sentinelese occurred sometime in the 1880s, when the British Navy led a survey mission to North Sentinel Island that quickly turned ugly. In their attempt to civilize the Sentinelese, the Navy ended up kidnapping 6 members of the tribe, an elderly couple and their 4 children, and took them to Port Blair, where tragedy awaited them. You see, because the Sentinelese have been living isolated from the rest of the world for thousands of years, they haven't developed immunity to any of our diseases. So when these 6 members of the tribe were eventually brought to the mainland, the elderly couple ended up falling sick and dying almost immediately. Fortunately, the children managed to survive, and were quickly sent back to the island along with several gifts as a gesture of peace.
Do you know what's crazy? Like, you would like to think that people are like smart. Wouldn't you just think this anyway?
However,
do you know what I mean? Like it's even common knowledge when you go to like different countries. There's different things over there, right? Like for example, like everyone in the UK knows, because we like to go to Egypt, that you're gonna fall ill from the food because our stomachs can't handle it, like different, you know what I mean? So now you're thinking an island where they've not had contact with people might be a bad idea, mixing them in with modern day people.
The damage was already done. The Sentinelese have consistently responded with arrows and aggression to anyone that has tried to enter their territory since that incident, no matter their intention. Like in 2004, when a Sentinelese man on the beach tried to shoot an Indian Coast Guard helicopter with a bow and and arrow, even though it only came to check on the tribe's welfare after a tsunami had ravaged the surrounding area. Or in 2006, when a couple of fishermen accidentally drifted into the waters near North Sentinel Island while poaching a fish, and the Sentinelese ended up unaliving them and burying their bodies on the beach.
Wow.
There has only ever been one instance when the Sentinelese people didn't react aggressively to a group of visitors landing on their shores. This was on January 4th, 1991.
Do you know what I'm thinking right now, chat? I'm thinking, I wonder what they're doing right now. Like, I would love a... Oh, here we go, chat. This is how content creators get stupid and with dumb ideas. Someone's going to steal my idea. Some idiot out there is going to try and do it now. But I would love, like, a live reality show of their island. You know, you could just tune in and just watch what they're getting up to. I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying it'd be very interesting. You know what I mean? We shouldn't do it because we shouldn't go there, but it'd be very interesting.
When Trilokanath Pandit, the director of the Anthropological Survey of India at the time, decided to visit the island with his team. He had already been studying the island and its natives for several years, so when his boat started approaching, he knew exactly how to signal the tribesmen that he and his team were friendly.
To overcome limited communication and uncertain vocabulary. Coconuts do not grow on these islands, but they are valued by the Sentinelese.
Okay.
In the end, they managed to befriend the tribesmen by copying their mannerisms and using their unique language to communicate with them.
Wow.
Laha! 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 Laha!
Bro, he has no clue what... Is he talking in their language? Does he even know what he's saying?
Daga! Daga!
However, this event didn't end up having any lasting impact on the relationship with the Sentinelese. So, in 2012, an amendment was made to the Andaman and Nicobar Island Protections of the Aboriginal Tribes Regulation of 1956, making it illegal to get within 3 miles of North Sentinel Island. But despite those restrictions being in place, there have still been some idiots who have tried visiting the island, like John Allen Chow, a 26-year-old American Christian missionary who believed North Sentinel Island was Satan's last stronghold on Earth.
Oh my god. Oh my. Yo, sometimes I just think, like, what goes up in people's brains? Like, goes up in people's brains. Like, what actually, like...
Earth. So he made it his mission to bring people of North Sentinel Island towards Christianity, but as you might imagine, all of his attempts ended in complete disaster. He was forced to retreat twice and even had to swim a mile to safety after his second failed attempt.
Wow.
Despite all this, he tried to fulfill his mission a third time on November 16th, 2018, and ended up losing his life. In the days following his death, several news outlets picked up on his story, broadcasting the risks of trying to contact an uncontactable tribe and the danger it posed to both the people trying to visit the island and the local tribesmen. But of course, these warnings would land on deaf ears in Mikhailo's case, who, despite all the danger, chose North Sentinel Island as the next destination for his thrill-seeking vlogs, and eventually ended up paying the price for his decision. It all started in October 2024.
Oh, this is very recent.
When Mikhailo decided to take a trip from the
Oh, this is beautiful. This is stunning.
United States to Port Blair, just like John Allen.
Oh, is that America?
Mikhailo decided
is this America?
to take a trip from the United States to Port Blair, just
thought
like
it was
John
Sentinel
Allen
Island.
had. He got his hands on an inflatable kayak soon after landing on the island, and planned to use it to make a solo journey to the island. However, before his kayak could even hit the water, the staff of the hotel in which he was staying intervened, threatening to call the police if he left for the island, which probably ended up saving Mikhailo's life. since not only would the
Oh,
kayak
wow, look
have
at
easily
that.
deflated if the Sentinelese decided to start showering it with arrows, the journey itself would have been extremely difficult, especially if the waves were even slightly rougher than normal. Fortunately, he listened to the staff at that moment and decided to fly back to the States almost immediately, but his obsession with going viral soon buried any fears he might have had about what awaited him on the island.
Like,
so
bro.
he decided to try a second time in January
Hey, Duke, thanks so much for the prime, buddy.
2025 and made the trip from the US to Port Blair once again. However, this time he had a slightly different plan. Instead of an inflatable kayak, he brought an inflatable motorboat with him. The only problem was, this motorboat was missing a key component, the motor. So Mikhailo started reaching out to look.
Wait, so you just brought an inflatable boat then? It's not a motorboat because you ain't got the motor. It's just a floaty. Yeah, well, I do appreciate you, buddy, bro.
Local mechanics and engineers in Port Blair, asking them to help attach a motor to his boat, and he found someone who could do it almost immediately. However, Mikhailo wasn't one to sit around and wait, so he decided to visit yet another indigenous tribe while the motor was being constructed. He hitched a ride to the Baratang Islands, located approximately 90 miles north of Port Blair, and successfully made contact with the native Jarara tribe. But here's the kicker. He ended up recording his interactions with the tribe, which, as it turns out, is also illegal under Indian law. He eventually returned back to Port Blair on March 20.
Wait, so he actually managed to... Wait, what?
Islands, located approximately 90 miles north of Port Blair, and successfully made contact with the native Jarara tribe. But...
Oh, different tribe, though. Oh, I was going to say.
Here's the kicker. He ended up recording his interactions with the tribe, which, as it turns out, is also illegal under Indian law. He eventually returned back to Port Blair on March 26, 2025, and by this time, the motor for his boat was ready and attached. After spending a few days studying routes and monitoring tides, Mikhailo finally left for North Sentinel Island at approximately...
Yo, chat, we all love a good motorboat, you know, than the next guy, but like... This is a bad motorboat idea, bro. This right here is a terrible idea, man. Swear, thanks so much for the tier 1, buddy.
1 a.m. on March 29. And surprisingly, the journey itself went smoothly. Not only did he have to contend with less Coast Guard patrols, since he'd left from the nearby Kumadera beach, and not the more heavily patrolled beach in Port Blair, the waters were also incredibly calm throughout the trip. In fact, he managed to arrive in North Sentinel Island's vicinity around 10 a.m., which is way earlier than he'd imagined. However, upon his arrival, he would be greeted with absolute silence, since there were absolutely no Sentinelese on the beach awaiting his arrival like he'd imagined.
Wait,
which
what?
in reality was incredibly lucky, because if they were present, it's more than likely they'd have started firing arrows at him by this.
Wait, we're on it then. Oh my god, conspiracy. They've got an underground tunnel system under the earth, and then there's a bunch of aliens and they're in communication. Maybe they're the ones that did the Egyptian pyramids. Oh my god. I bet they got McDonald's down there and all sorts. They're just having us on. They're just playing with us. They're making us think that they're back in time, but they're in the future, bro. Maybe they got a new version, futuristic McDonald's.
Point. Still, as he continued inching closer, he started getting more frustrated, resulting in him doing the most brain-dead thing ever, and using a whistle to alert the Sentinel.
Wait, chat, I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm thinking about a futuristic McDonald's. I might go. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll after this. Hey, listen. I don't want to be in contact with the tribe. I just want to see the McDonald's, bro. I just want to see the McDonald's over there.
Leads to his presence. He whistled for over an hour, but luckily received...
Wait, so he's on the island right now, and he's blowing a whistle. Where are they?
no response from the Sentinelese, all while slowly approaching the beach. And when he finally arrived, he found the beach and the nearby forest just as deserted as it looked from his boat. So he spent the next hour recording the deserted beach and collecting sand samples to take back with him before engaging in his most despicable act yet, leaving a half-empty can of Diet Coke and a coconut on the beach as an offering to the tribe, knowing full well,
Mate, if you're trying to get the tribe on your fucking side, yeah? Why Diet Coke? Are you dumb? Nah, that would piss me off even more. If you came to my island and you gave me Diet Coke and not full fat Coke, I'm shooting your ass. I'm shooting your ass. If that's not full fat, I'm shooting your ass. Next time you come, you're gone.
that the drink he'd already drank from probably contains pathogens that could possibly...
Oh wait, he's already drank from it.
Offering to the tribe, knowing full well that the drink he'd already drank from probably contains pathogens that could possibly wipe out the entire tribe if...
Oh. So he's literally purposely trying to fucking, like, contaminate them. Nah, I don't like this guy. I don't like this guy. You don't even give, like, someone else a drink, you know, an already drunk can. Why them? I don't like this guy.
Even one member decided to drink it. As a commenter rightly states, this guy is a dummy.
Yeah.
Putting an entire civilization / heritage at risk for a couple of years, your values are truly mind-boggling. After
That's
leaving the
facts.
can of Coke, he made the only sane decision of this entire trip and left the island on the same boat he arrived on, happy that he managed to escape without getting offed. However, little did he know the real consequences were waiting for him back at Port Blair. You see, while he was returning to Kumadera Beach at around 7 PM that same day, two fishermen on the coast noticed his boat. They quickly alerted the local authorities about where they suspected Mikhailo was coming from, resulting in police finding and arresting him a couple of days later on March 31st.
Yeah, bro, he should technically get attempted murder charges. Like, that's what it is, attempted murder.
They ended up confiscating his GoPro with all of the
It's
footage
like
on the
poisoning
island
someone.
and launched a full criminal investigation into Mikhailo's actions. In other words, Mikhailo could face up to 5 or even 8 years in prison for his crimes if convicted.
You know what? That's actually kind of low. He's lucky. That, because that's like me poisoning a group, like a group of people's food with like mild poison. And some of them might get fucked up, some of them might not. Like,
Now, it's important to note that he hasn't been charged yet, but given the recent trend of foreign governments not letting American nuisance creators get away with whatever they want, there's a good chance he won't be coming home anytime soon. But even if he somehow manages to
He's
escape
lucky.
the charges, there's one thing for sure. Mikhailo's already blown any shot he had at becoming a YouTuber, ending his career before it could even start. And he has no one to blame for his own failure but himself. He had the opportunity to stop chasing this incredibly dumb adventure in October 2024 when he got caught the first time. However, his need for clout didn't let him abandon the idea, and now he could be facing serious prison time for his actions, and that too in a
Jeez.
foreign country, all because he was too stubborn to just accept the idiocy
That's
of
different.
his plan. Kind of like Pirate Software,
mate, he's so lucky that he didn't end up dead.
who is still refusing to say 3 simple words to save his reputation.
Huh? I can't believe people. Do you know what's funny though? Like, people just gonna keep trying to go there. They are. They just are. Because there's just so many idiots in this world, and so many people want attention as well. Like, they're just gonna. Honestly, you might just have to like put mines in the waters around the island. You might do. That might be the best option.